American Family Insurance, Farmers National Bank, Phillips County Health Systems, Phillips County Community Foundation, Phillipsburg Chamber and Main Street, Trinity Ag LLC. And now, here's Tad Feltz.
And good morning and welcome to a Tadpoll for a Thursday morning. We've been here on many Thursday mornings. It's been chilly, but 88 degrees yesterday, Anna, and another today and tomorrow. All kinds of strange weather. So
got my windbreaker out. It's the wind.
I got my short sleeves on. I don't have to wear a coat. Hopefully not anymore this year. Anyway, a Tadpoll here. We'll be talking with Anna about something special coming up Sunday morning at the St. Philip and James Catholic Church, food, which I'd love to talk about food. Sherry will be in, talk about the special guest they have, who'll be a speaker on Sunday afternoon, and Taryn, Sherrick, and Cody Miller come on and talk about hospice. They have their big hospice event coming up. And well, they're Cody from the Extension, and Cindy Walker Extension. Phillips County Extension is going to be on and talk about some things. So this is my Extension morning, I
There
guess.
you go,
Okay.
yes.
Anna, thanks for coming on. And what's happening Sunday morning?
Well, we're having our annual, before COVID it was annual, and then now this is the first time after COVID that we're starting back with our pancake sausage feed. And we will have it Sunday morning. It'll start at 10 o'clock and it'll go through 1 o'clock. And we'll have the pancake, sausage, and sauerkraut. Good German community have to have the sauerkraut. We'll have some peanut butter there for those that like peanut butter on their pancakes too. But it's a good time to come out and see your friends and neighbors and sit and visit and have some good pancakes. The Egger firemen will be over to cook the pancakes, so you can't beat that.
No, you can't beat that. That's the best pancake maker ever made, I think, is that.
Yes, I agree.
I'd put a couple of come off of there through the years, too, I think. Also.
I wonder how many thousands of pancakes they
I said I'd like to have $1 for every one that came off of there. So,
yes, you'd be rich.
Yeah, I would be probably in the Caribbean somewhere right now. Anyway, I've mentioned that many times. And you do a good job, you know, it's just perfect. And of course, they're doing the sausage outside, right? Or the barbecue and the sausage. Wow.
Yes. Bruce Williams is going to be in charge of cooking the sausage, and so we'll have sausage patties to go along with those pancakes.
Okay.
And yes.
Okay. And free will offering?
Free will offering.
Okay. Yes, 10 to 1, right?
10 to 1. And so if it works to come before you go to church, great.
Sure.
And if not, we'll be there till 1 o'clock, which everybody should be out of church by then, and we should have plenty of food.
Yeah, plenty to eat. St. Philip and James Catholic Church, just right there on the corner by the airport. Coming in.
Right.
Okay. Another reason why we have your homemade ice cream. There's nothing better than homemade. I don't care what you say at the homemade ice cream. And someone made some this week and brought some to me. And it was very good. And of course, every summer, the Knights of Columbus always sell it on the square during rodeo week. And I usually buy about 10 little cups, and I have had that for a while. But okay, so what about homemade ice cream? You want to tell people how to make it?
Right. We're going to make probably 6 to 7 different kinds of homemade ice cream, and then everybody will get to sample all of it. It's kind of one of those things that's hard to take home, but you can eat it, and we'll sample the different kinds of ice cream. We'll make a variety. We'll have I have a recipe for diabetic ice cream, so we'll make that. And my dad was diabetic, so I kind of developed that way back when. And it's sometimes I make it just because I think it's good. And then I love ice cream. I grew up on a dairy farm, and we had cream, and we made our own ice cream all the time.
Now, where did you get the ice, though? Where did you get the ice?
Well, I'm quite not as old, but Mom would freeze it.
Okay.
She would freeze it. She'd get these buckets, plastic buckets and put it, and sometimes they're the metal buckets, and fill them, put them in, then you put that ice in a gunny sack, and Dad would take a hatchet to it and make it, and then we always had rock salt, and so we made it. In wintertime it was easy. We just take the ice out of the tank and do the same thing.
Well, sure.
So, yeah, I have my mom's recipe that she used, and that's going to be in the cookbook. And then I have several other ones. I found one for, have you ever been to Call Hall in Manhattan, the Dairy Barn?
Oh, yeah.
And they have purple passion or purple cow, or I can't remember quite the name, but it's purple. Sure. And I have a very similar recipe. And so that's in the recipe book, and we'll be making it too. I will just be making all sorts of different kinds. A few recipes that I found on Pinterest that we tried the last time I had the class, and everybody really liked them. So it's still ice cream.
Okay, and the class is what, $10 or $20?
I believe it's $20.
$20, yeah, there we go. Recipes and the samples.
Right.
Now, do you have to bring anything for it, or do you have everything there?
No, I'll have everything there, and I'll have the little cups and spoons for you to try, and I'll have all the ingredients. Most of what we'll be making out of will be the newer type of ice cream freezers that are gel, where you freeze them in the freezer.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot of those just because we don't have enough room to have all the ice that we would need. But we will make some with the ice and salt, so you can see that process. And I have a little hand crank one, and I do have an electric one too. So
the hand crank was the best. I don't care the work you do on turning that, and I was always amazed. I'd ask in the wintertime when I'd visit my aunt and uncle in Hayes, back then you couldn't go down and buy a bag of ice.
Right.
Well, they didn't have it. So he would go down, my uncle would go down to Big Creek and chop the ice out of Big Creek and bring it home. We'd make the ice cream,
Oh, yeah. So, yes. Yeah, we had hand crank, and it was an old enough machine that when it got really tough, somebody had to sit on top of it to hold the handle down. And that was always my job. So, which it was a little cold sometimes, but that was my job, was to sit on top of that. So, and Dad and my brother would be the ones that would be cranking.
And the paddle was the best. When you could, you take the paddle out, that you pack it to keep it cold. Well, I know during the winter also, my granddad had out around Winona, they call it a ranch. But they had one of those buildings that were down on the ground, and they kept ice house, I think.
Yes, ice.
And there was a creek that went by there in the winter. They would go out and take the ice out of the creek and then take it up the hill and put it in the ice house. And it was there in the summertime, I mean, it stayed pretty good, pretty cold down in there,
Yeah. So it's a fun class. The last time I did this, I had a lot of participants and had a lot of fun. They didn't realize that different flavors you can make with just a basic ice cream recipe. And one of the things, I always, and my mom did before I ever realized why, and that was make sure you cook your eggs, because eggs have salmonella, and that is can give you food poisoning. So
they didn't used to cook the eggs, did they?
No.
I don't. Early on, I don't think they. You just put the eggs in, and
a lot of people still do.
Yeah.
But if you get that one egg.
Yeah.
My mom always cooked it. We made a custard base, and I'm not sure how she ever knew. Maybe her mother knew but it took me a while before I understood why. But that's why you can or you can buy pasteurized eggs, which around here it's hard to get, but in a larger city you could find pasteurized eggs.
Okay, so that's coming up.
It's April the 27th.
Okay, that's
and
a Thursday.
I believe registration is open. Call the Hanson Museum. If you would like to have it, take it. It's at 7 p.m. that evening, and we'll make probably 7, 8 different kinds of ice cream, different ways, and you'll be able to sample them all, and then also get my recipe book that has all of those that you can use just about any way you want to make your ice cream.
I just like vanilla homemade. I'm not much for the different. I'll eat other, kind you buy at the store. I'll get, but I just said something about vanilla, and you can get. It kind of tastes like in the store now. They said they call it vanilla home or something vanilla.
Home churned or something like that.
Okay.
Yes.
What else is going on? Okay.
Well, just
Did you take care of all your prescription people and everything?
pretty much. I still get calls every once in a while for those new to Medicare.
Yeah.
And I help them, and Cindy Walker, I think she's going to be on
Yes,
later.
she'll be on now.
She is now has gotten her certification,
Okay,
so I won't be quite so busy. And you can call her at the extension office if you're going to be new to Medicare, or you can call me. And if I can't do it, I will make sure Cindy, one of us, can get you. But yes, that's going to help a lot to have Cindy
You
doing
saved
that.
me a lot of money through the years by getting my right prescriptions and everything. Less this year than last year. So, and of course, I still see all this stuff on TV about I'm missing out on a lot, but I don't know whether I'm missing out on a lot or not, or whether I don't want to really get involved in that kind of stuff.
No, you're not really missing out on anything.
Okay.
It's easier just to stay away from some of that than it is to try to get you out of it if you get in it.
And I get things on my phone quite often about how you have $2,000 coming to you. I don't even open those up.
Yeah.
I don't even mess with those things.
No.
Because I'm sure somewhere along the line it's going to end up costing me information or money, So, okay.
Yeah, they get pretty sneaky about it, and there's things that happen, and I know several people that have gotten caught in different scams, and they just use their names. They didn't do anything, they just used their names, and so you have to be really careful about that too.
Okay, one more plug. This Sunday morning, 11 to
10 to 1.
10 to 1. Yeah, go up before church or after, to wherever you go, and the pancakes on the pancake maker, and the sausage and the sauerkraut and peanut butter. Free will offer with the St. Philip and James Catholic Church. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
You're
and I hope you have a
welcome.
great ice cream night.
Oh, I think it will be. I'm excited. I love ice cream, so I hope I can help others that enjoy the homemade ice cream to find out it's not that hard to do, especially now if you have one of those gel machines, and placing the biggest problem with those is finding a place in a freezer to freeze them.
Right, yeah.
And that's the hardest part.
Does it still taste like
Yes.
homemade ice cream?
It really does. I was a little leery about them to start with, but yeah, and if there's not very many in your family, they're nice too, because they're not very big. They would make enough for about 4 to 6 people.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, and thank you for coming on, and we hope things go well. And Saturday, see you Sunday morning, of course, to get the pancakes. All right.
Yes.
All right. Sherry Butts is scheduled next year on the Tadpoll. We'll take a break and come back and talk with Sherry.
In our area, ranching and farming are more than just jobs. They represent family traditions and a way of life. They are an essential part of our community. At First National Bank and Trust, community is what matters most. From agriculture to education, we support those who make our community one to be proud of and a place to call home. First National Bank and Trust, where community matters most.
We're here for you.
Farmers and Ranchers Outlet is a locally owned and operated business in Phillipsburg, Kansas. As farmers and ranchers ourselves, we continually put our products to the test. We provide a variety of products including roping supplies, horse tack, mineral blocks and feed, healthcare items for your animals, and of course, we have all the apparel you need to get the job done and look good while you're doing it. Stop by our store on Highway 183 or shop with us online at farmersranchersoutlet.com.
The experienced and professional team at Coombs Trucking takes pride in providing the most efficient and reliable service to our customers. From hauling to towing, our fleet of quality trucks and drivers continue to deliver safely and on time. Our team is also proud to support your team. We're here for our little leaguers, area high school teams, and more. Coombs Trucking enjoys giving back to the community that has been so important to us for over 50 years.
We all make bad choices. Your insurance carrier doesn't have to be one of them. Make a choice you won't regret. The foremost choice.
Are you wrestling with your financial situation? Let First National Bank and Trust help you take down the stress that comes with managing your money. First National Bank and Trust is here for our area athletes, here for our farmers, here for our business owners, here for our families, and
We're here for you.
And this morning on the Tadpoll, Shari Buss is joining us from the Hanson Museum. And Shari, thanks for coming on. And we also are going to try to have someone on from Hanson on what's on the Logan, the big Logan.
The Life Project.
Yeah, Life Project. And Mike Earhart, he couldn't make it, so we're going to have him on down the road and let us know about they had the big ribbon cutting and all that.
Yes, the groundbreaking. It was quite exciting.
Yeah, so. Okay, so we're going to talk about things going on in the museum, and I understand the music program you had for your annual meeting was really
It was fantastic. Yeah, the fellow's name is Gordon Lindquist, and they call him Crazy Fingers, and it's quite clear why. If you have an opportunity, hop onto the Hanson Museum Facebook page. I have a couple videos on there of him playing, and he is completely talented but also incredibly entertaining. He has been playing the piano since he was 5 years old, and he has some pretty amazing antics to go along with his amazing technical skills. Like he laid on his back on the piano bench and played upside down. He put gloves on and played, and then he put on mittens and played over a sheet, because that's his sheet music.
Wow.
He was and it sounded beautiful. He is just incredibly talented. He taught a professor. He was a professor at a college in North Dakota in Botany, I believe, or I can't remember for sure which town, but he very amazingly talented. He's played with professionals like Bob Hope and the Lawrence Welk Show. He toured Norway, I think Denmark, I believe, with the Lawrence Welk Show one summer. Yeah, so his skill is definitely there, and he just believes that music brings, light and entertainment everywhere it goes, and he certainly did. And we honored Deborah Berg for her 45 years as a Hanson Museum board. She is our longest-serving board member. She's been on since 1978.
Wow,
served
that's about
in
as
every.
long as the museum's been there.
Almost, yeah. This is our 51st year, so she's not far. She has served in about every capacity, and we were just really thankful to be able to honor her and show her our appreciation. The museum purchased her a beautiful sterling silver bracelet with some gemstones in it, and she can wear that and think fondly of us, I hope, as we think fondly of her.
Okay, we want to talk about Golden Rule Days. That's something coming up. What's happening this Sunday at the
Sunday at 2:30, we have an author presenting a talk on his book. His name is Dr. James Kenyon. He actually grew up and graduated from high school in Bogue, Kansas, and he is a veterinarian, and he got his degree at K-State, so he definitely knows the area. And he's going to come and talk. He's written several books, and the one he's going to talk about is called Golden Rule Days, where he went and visited I think it's 109 of the closed Kansas high schools. And when applicable, he talked to former students, staff, and he's just got he's compiled some great stories. Some of them are very humorous, some of them very pointed. He's just really done a lot of great research. He actually physically went there, and he's going to come and present that book for us.
Bogue isn't there anymore, but Bogue is closed, I think, aren't they?
The school?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So he went to ones that are closed, and he worried about why they were closed. Well, obviously because
the stories.
There's no students there anymore.
Yeah, stories behind the closings and just stories of the high school, just to not forget, And I believe it'll be a really encouraging, wonderful book. It's actually, this book won an award from the Kansas State Historical, I believe,
Society.
It's an award-winning book. So he'll be there at 2:30. He says his presentation takes about 40 to 45 minutes. We'll of course have fresh refreshments, and it'll be a wonderful time, I believe.
Prairie View, Kerwin, they aren't there anymore.
Yeah, and they're all included in this book.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
I don't know that he'll cover all of those,
Probably not.
but
Well,
I'm assuming he'll cover the ones that are close to
In our
our
area.
area to make it, pertinent to our area. So hopefully, if our last gathering on Sunday afternoon is any indication of how wonderful it'll be, it's going to be a blast.
Okay, what else is coming up?
Oh, we have all kinds of things coming up. You've talked with Anna already. We have ice cream on April 27th. Anna's always a great instructor, and you get a whole
Ice
big
cream.
bang for your buck.
I think eight different flavors or something she's going to have, I think.
She did it 2 years ago, the same ice cream class, and it was fantastic. From that experience, Verlaine Schooler made the best one. It was a butter pecan, and it was divine. So I'm taking the class just so I can taste test everything.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, I may never
Maybe I
make.
should do that
Yeah,
too.
I may never make homemade ice cream, but it is so worth it for tasting everything. Our next exhibit, well, currently we have on display, it's called Hand Stitched World, the Cartography of Quilts, where they are 18 fabulous quilts from the American Folk Museum out of New York. And they have such a range of textiles and materials. Some of them are sculptural or assemblages. Others are just, quilting in the traditional manner, but they're very old. And they have great stories. And they're likening quilting as like a map of the quilter's life. And we have some pretty interesting ones. One is a beautiful, it's made from wool, and they call it a soldier's quilt. And one thing I learned from this quilt is that they used to encourage soldiers to quilt instead of going out and participating in some of the more unsavory behaviors that they enjoyed, like gambling and drinking and carousing and things like that. So they believed this beautiful wool quilt that's made out of former soldier uniforms was made by a soldier as the way to pass the time, and it is incredible. There's so many. There's some that are more traditional, like you would think of your grandmother making, and there are others that are very fancy. A lot of them have those incredible old, you don't see anymore those fancy stitching. Whether the assemblage of the textiles are more traditional, they all have that really fine quilting, the needlework that you don't see as often anymore. So it's a very interesting exhibit, and we've had people come from some great distances to see it. So if you're out and about, stop in. I think you'll enjoy
Well, if you're
the
there
quilt.
Sunday afternoon, you can go see what's going on.
Right, yeah. Our next exhibit coming up is a crocodilian scratchboard exhibit by John Agnew, who is kind of an amateur zoologist, and he has taken, you guys all know what scratchboards are, the things you do in school,
right.
but he has elevated them to definitely high level, fine art, and he has some really interesting snapshots, so to speak, of crocodilian habitats and their interactions, not only with each other, but with the humans in their world. So, and then we move into our next exhibit that will open on July 1st, which we're super pumped about, which is Sean Kinney's Animal Superpowers. So Mr. Kinney, he makes these incredible animal sculptures out of Lego bricks.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And this is going to be a very incredible exhibition. It's going to fill both galleries. And it's all chock full of STEM material, so it's great for educational. It talks about how animals really are superheroes and how they have had to create adaptations to survive in this world, everything from echolation to regenerating limbs. And we'll have some hands-on areas for kids, but it will be very enjoyable for all age groups, and it will be on display from July 1st through September 10th. And it would make a great day trip for families, as we don't have any admission fee ever. Where a lot of places where you have to go to see these Sean Kinney's exhibitions or something similar, you're going to pay upwards to $15 a person to get in for an adult. And so we're really super excited about that. Of course, we have a lot of kids activities planned for the summer. Our first one starts off as STEM camp, which is taught by an engineer there in Logan who's relocated to Logan. He works remotely. His name is Brad Shmolsky. Last year's STEM camp was so popular that after the third day, when the class was supposed to end, they begged to come back, and on the fourth day they could just practice the coding that they were learning. And some of them, the project for the week was to make a plant that watered itself, or to get a watering system that watered a plant itself. So they broke up into groups. One group made the apparatus to measure the temperature. The other one made an apparatus to measure the moisture in the soil content. One made a pump to pump the water, and the other one made the delivery system, and they put it all together and they got this watering system. So on the fifth day, when they were there just to do whatever they want, we had a couple of them that coded video games. It's just crazy. And the one thing I loved about it, he uses a Scratch program that makes you think that anybody could code.
Sure.
So then we have, of course, art camp, and then we have art time for kids. So just be on the lookout. We'll have a lot of things going on for the children this summer.
Okay, so sound like you're really busy down there.
We're always busy. It's always great fun, but we're always busy. And of course, we always have wonderful classes for our adults. Watch our Facebook page and our website, and you'll know what's going on.
I get something in the mail every
All
time.
the time. Yeah.
That's how I got the thing on the ice cream, homemade ice creams, and it's okay.
That's where membership has its privileges. Before we ever advertise, we get the word out to our members. And so sometimes classes fill up before we ever even have it. We don't advertise. And so then when we do an after the fact post or during the fact post, we'll have a lot of people comment on our Facebook, like, I didn't know anything about it. Well, become a member. Then you know about it in advance. Because things like STEM camp and art camp, I guarantee you're not going to see an ad in the paper for them because they'll fill up.
Okay, and then this Sunday, 2:30.
2:30.
Golden Rule Days, and a lot of schools aren't there anymore. You know, that's interesting. And refreshments, is there no charge for that either?
Never an admission fee for programming. Yeah.
Anything else you want to share with us?
Well, I think we covered about everything that's pertinent at this time.
Okay, well, we'll have you on again, of course. We'll
I
talk
appreciate
about
that.
summer and everything else that goes on there. The fireworks, I always like
Yeah,
that.
we're already working on arts and craft and Labor Day, so.
Okay. Sherry Butts with us from the Hans Museum this morning. We'll be back. We'll be talking about hospice. I'm glad they're back with what they're going to be doing, so I have a chance to get my baklava again. And we'll be talking about that in just a moment after we take this break.
At Phillips County Health Systems, patient-centered excellence is more than a goal. It's a mission. And that's why we continue to be one of the top critical access hospitals in the country. We care for members of our community through all stages of life, providing quality health care, innovative rehabilitation therapies, and convenient access to specialists. It's the kind of care our patients should expect, the kind of care you deserve, the kind of care provided at Phillips County Health Systems.
Prairie Horizon Agri-Energy is now Amber Wave. We are transforming our existing facility in Phillipsburg to turn 20 million bushels of wheat into domestically produced wheat protein for use in the food and feed-related industries. This investment in the community will come together in the summer of 2023 and is expected to add 50 new jobs to the local community. Learn more at amberwaveusa.com. Amber Wave, vital, reliable, sustainable.
The American dream has changed over the years, but Farmers National Bank has not. This is Jean Ann Wagner. Farmers National Bank has been backing the American dream for over 100 years. Tell us what you'd like to accomplish, and we'll work with you to achieve it. As we celebrate 100 years, it's never been about us. It's always been about our customers and their successes. That's the American dream. We're Farmers National Bank in Phillipsburg, Agra, Logan, Kensington, Stockton, and Atwood, member FDIC.
Olive Bovey Furniture in Phillipsburg has so many lazy boys, they're running out of room to show their other great lines of furniture. Olive Bovey is featuring lazy boys at prices that are just too good to pass up. Lazy Boy rocker recliners, Lazy Boy sofas, Lazy Boy reclining sofas. Don't miss this opportunity. Help move the lazy boys so there's more room to show the other great furniture. Olive Bovey Furniture, West Highway 36 in Phillipsburg.
Protection is important, especially when you're talking about your dreams, which is why we're going to keep you covered with plans that can save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. That's protection.
And back on the Tadpoll this morning, we're going to be talking about something special I always enjoyed every spring, the hospice. And we have a couple of visitors with us this morning, and we're going to talk about what's happening. So we'll be talking, Cody, you'll be doing the auctioneering. You're going to take over there. So what's going to be happening, Taryn?
Well, we are going to have all kinds of different donated items from our community. Our community has been amazing. We've got candles and yard art and wall decor and Royals tickets, zoo passes.
Royals tickets, I think they won last night big, 10-1, I think, over Texas last night. So
Yes.
Royals tickets, okay.
Yes, and we've got signed basketballs, an Iowa State basketball,
Wow.
and a Phillipsburg girls basketball
Oh,
signed
one
by
of
the
that
players.
Was, yeah. Third place finish there, right?
Yes. So
Okay, now what's the date of that?
the date is April 20th, so we're a week out. So there's still a chance to get tickets at Farmers National, Farmers State, First National Bank and Trust, Golden Plains, Mapes and Miller, and of course the hospice office.
Okay, so what do you the funds you raise? How are they used by hospice?
They ensure that our program continues,
Okay,
so that we can continue to assist patients.
Okay, so and you have silent auction.
Silent auction,
Okay,
yes.
well, what's going to be happening on the silent auction?
Oh, we've got baskets galore of items.
Wow. You know, I was on the talk and said, think about you see something you want and someone else wants it, and you
Yes.
keep an eye on them and see if they go back and bid, and then when they
bidding
leave,
war.
you go back and bid, and then you see them come back and bid. That's what I like. Okay, what's the food going to be then?
Oh, the food is smoked pork chop with green bean and a baked potato.
Ooh, okay.
With a roll, as well as ice cream for dessert.
Okay. And you have hors d'oeuvres?
And we'll have hors d'oeuvres
That was always my
as well.
favorite thing.
Yes, lots of different finger foods.
I talk to people that eat all of the hors d'oeuvres. How would you have any room left for the meal? That's always really good there. So it's April 20th. The social hour at 5:30 and the silent auction and all that, and then 6:30 will be the meal and then a live auction to follow. Of course, that's what Cody's going to be involved in. So you're taking over for some people, right?
There's big shoes to fill, Tad, as you well know.
So how long have you been doing the auctioneering? What made you decide to do that? I think I've asked you this before.
Right. You know, I've always been intrigued by it, and ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be able to get up there and just ramble on and go. And it's funny now that here where we're actually doing it, and I as a first generation auctioneer, it's tough to get in the business, and following in the footsteps of the hospice here with Bob and Monty Jessup, I think they've been involved with this for many years, probably as long as Tad has been involved, and to be able to carry on that legacy of the hospice and continue it, and for the community, it's just a neat event.
I had forgotten I had Sandy on, a couple of weeks ago, and I'd forgotten that, but we met at the hospital, and I was on the board that brought the hospital. I'd forgotten about that, so yeah, I've been around for a while on the hospice, and it's great, Okay, so you got to auction. Do you have any idea what things you're going to be auctioning off?
So Taryn and the committee, we went through, and obviously, there's a certain items that will be on the live auction. A lot of those items have been displayed at the various banks. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Farmers National Bank, Farmers State Bank, First National Bank and Trust, Golden Plain Credit Union. Those have been in the lobbies on display.
Good.
Also, if you haven't been on the Facebook page, I know Taryn's been putting pictures of those items that are on there. But you know, we've got everything from the little. A few years ago, well, 19 was the last time we was able to have it. The K-State toy house, and you know, it's always great when you have the grandma to be, and you know, she's going to buy it regardless. And Shirley Van Lunen was that person at the last one, and you know, I thought that was certainly neat. But of course, you know, there's so many baked good items, Tad, that come through, and I'm sure your favorite as well.
Well, you're gonna have that. Okay, I know you'll be looking at me. Come on, bid more and get the $300. Come on, you know.
Yes. So but yeah, those items. I know Taryn had mentioned there. We've got a signed Iowa State basketball there.
Yes.
I think a person on the committee has some connections to it.
Sure.
You know, huge shout out to Pastor Joel Heasterman. I was cleaning out a house, getting ready for an auction. He was walking down the street, and he said, "Hey, what's the chances you could get Rachel and the girls to sign a basketball?"
Wow.
And I thought, oh, absolutely. So you know, we'll have the third place state team that the girls have signed up, so we'll auction it off.
The sportsmanship team, there's the sportsmanship. That's great.
Right, but no, there's all different kinds of items, and you know, if you don't want to buy something on the live auction, certainly come out and you can certainly bid on the silent auction items. You know, that's for more I say low key, low stress kind of a deal, and you know, we try to make these auctions fun and interactive and just have a good time all the way around.
My granddad was maybe I've shared that with you. My granddad was an auctioneer, and I used to. He did it so long. They called him Colonel. I guess they gave him Colonel after a while, right?
Yes,
he was a Colonel.
Yeah,
Colonel, and in the summertime I'd go up. I'd carry water to him because he'd be, you know, need water to the auctioneer and stuff. So yeah, but I was never very good because I never knew what to bid. Through the years I bought 2 different wall clocks there and other things. And of course, the box was, if it didn't go too high. You know, okay.
Right. Yeah. No, we'll come on out. It'll be a fun event. It's always good. It's excellent to see the community come together. And I know Taryn and Sandy and several of the committee members, we've sure talked. And, you know, with COVID shutting us down, we're getting back in the groove of things here. Certainly looking forward to it. And it'll just be a great, fun evening that'll benefit the community wide.
The tickets, can you buy them at the door or should you buy them ahead of time?
You can buy them at the door.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, or where are they available if you want to buy them?
They're available at all of the area banks.
Okay.
As well as Mapes and Miller.
$10 now, that's a bargain in itself.
It
right there.
You can't even go eat somewhere for $10, Tad.
And you have all the other. It's always fun. You see friends, or it's fun. It's pretty fun doing it. Okay, well, anything else you want to share this morning, Taryn or Cody?
What over the years, Tad? What's been the funnest memory from the hospice that you can think of, or the event that we've had?
Well, bidding against Darrell Lalo for the box every year. You know. He usually won, and then someone else that took it up. No, the fact that the quilts. That's always for the quilts, and or someone wants something, you know, the baked goods. You know, oh boy, I won that. You know.
Right.
Right.
And
it's great.
And the quilts, there's several of those, and it's just so amazing how many hours, how many dollars go into those, and you know we're running out of the quilters, and it's so neat to have all of that support.
I've got some quilts that my mother and grandmother still, so they're over 100 years. I've got those quilts, and when I was a baby, they had a quilt for me. I still got that, you know, and I just had one that I had the pieces, but there was this completed for me by a lady here in town because my mother had them and she never had them put together. And it has to be at least 150 years old, you know. So
right.
You know, so It was a big thing. Quilts. They used to have quilting bees. And I remember during the Second World War, I'd visit Hayes, and as part of their effort there, the ladies would get together once a week and sew, and then send them to servicemen. You know, I mean, it was a war thing. You know, and it's amazing. So, okay, well, okay, that's this Thursday then, right? Wow.
Next Thursday.
This coming up.
Yep.
Week from tonight.
Week from today.
Week from today. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and 5:30, get your tickets or get them at the door, and just have a good time with the hospice. It's great. It's a great program. I mean, that's one of the great programs that came to our area, and it expanded. It used to be just Phillipsburg, and now you've expanded, haven't you?
Yes, 16 counties.
Now, see, that's amazing.
Right.
Yes.
I've had friends who have used it, and my wife was going, but then she passed away before she had a chance. But my mother-in-law was in a hospice. So
I think there's been several that have benefited from the program over the years. And it's so neat. And I'll just close with I remember when we first moved to town, and this event was coming up, and I said, "What is this?" And a key individual, they said, "You need to come. You'll enjoy it." And we've been hooked ever since. So if you're new to town, especially where it hasn't happened since 2019, definitely
come out, and it's out on the hill out there.
Yes,
It's a great facility out there that for a lot of things. Okay, Taryn and Cody, thank you, and
thank you,
we'll see you Thursday night.
Perfect.
At the baklava.
That's right. Thank you, Tad.
Baklava is how that's pronounced. So when you announce it, say baklava, right?
Baklava. All right. We'll see what we can do.
All right. We'll come back and talk with Cindy after we take this break.
In our area, ranching and farming are more than just jobs. They represent family traditions and a way of life. They are an essential part of our community. At First National Bank and Trust, community is what matters most. From agriculture to education, we support those who make our community one to be proud of and a place to call home. First National Bank and Trust, where community matters most.
We're here for you.
Farmers and Ranchers Outlet is a locally owned and operated business in Phillipsburg, Kansas. As farmers and ranchers ourselves, we continually put our products to the test. We provide a variety of products including roping supplies, horse tack, mineral blocks and feed, healthcare items for your animals, and of course, we have all the apparel you need to get the job done and look good while you're doing it. Stop by our store on Highway 183 or shop with us online at farmersranchersoutlet.com.
The experienced and professional team at Coombs Trucking takes pride in providing the most efficient and reliable service to our customers. From hauling to towing, our fleet of quality trucks and drivers continue to deliver safely and on time. Our team is also proud to support your team. We're here for our Little Leaguers, area high school teams, and more. Coombs Trucking enjoys giving back to the community that has been so important to us for over 50 years.
We all make bad choices. Your insurance carrier doesn't have to be one of them. Make a choice you won't regret. The foremost choice.
Are you wrestling with your financial situation? Let First National Bank and Trust help you take down the stress that comes with managing your money. First National Bank and Trust is here for our area athletes, here for our farmers, here for our business owners, here for our families, and
We're here for you.
And Cindy Walker with us this morning, and we were just discussing what we're going to talk about. And she said I called her, so I called you. So what do you want to talk about? I'll leave that up to you. Mental health, I think, is what we talked about the last time we had you on, and hypertension. all that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I got a lot of things, a lot of different programs going on.
Sure.
We'd been on before talking about the hypertension awareness project that I'm working on. And so we have some individuals who are going through our self-monitored blood pressure program that we're piloting. We do have a nutrition education component that's open to the public. And so that's the first Monday of every month at 2 o'clock. So we'll have one more in May and one in June for that. And so the public's welcome to come to that at the Phillips County Annex.
You know, the people already involved in it are different than just showing up and being there.
Right.
They can reserve, public can reserve, right, but you have people actually involved in the program.
Right, so we have people involved in the program, and that's one component that we do, but that's open to the public. So anybody can come and learn how to eat a heart-healthy diet.
Okay.
And so we're offering different tips. I always cook something, and there's a tasting
Ooh, you
offered.
do? Wow.
Yeah.
What is a heart-healthy diet?
A heart-healthy diet. So when you're talking about heart-healthy, you're talking about low sodium, because and we've talked a lot about the role of sodium. We do need some sodium in our diet, but the average American gets way more salt than they need.
I must be the average because I really pour the salt on. I really put it on.
And a lot of sodium in our diet actually comes from processed foods also,
yeah, that's what happens.
not just
you
what
know,
you put on.
I eat a lot of frozen stuff, and I'm sure that's got a lot of sodium in it. And then I always add salt to it too, you know. So, anyway,
that's something to watch.
So should you watch on what? Does it tell you usually on the packaging and everything how much sodium's in it and everything?
Yeah, so when you look at the nutrition label on the back of a package or the side of the package, it'll tell you the amount of sodium, and it'll usually tell you the percent daily value based on the average person with a 2,000 calorie diet. That sodium amount is actually a little bit higher than somebody who's trying to watch their heart health because they have a higher risk factor due to their age or their history of hypertension, which is high blood pressure, of course. Okay. So, and then also when you're looking at a heart healthy diet, you're looking at increasing your fiber, you're looking at reducing your saturated fat. And then the unsaturated fats are actually healthy types of fat. So things like olive oil, things that are liquid at room temperature.
What's a saturated fat?
So a saturated fat is the unhealthier type of fat. So it's solid at room temperature. A lot of those are going to be animal-based products or things or coconut oil is actually a saturated fat. And those are the things that you can look at, kind of clogging up your arteries a little bit and building up. Right. And so
There used to tell me if it tastes good, it's not good for you. Is that right?
Well, actually, Tad, that's kind of what we're talking about. Why we're doing the demonstration is to find recipes that are tasty.
Are good, yeah.
Sometimes we have to replace some things that are old favorites with new favorites. And so that's what we're working on.
It's all right to fudge once in a while where you're even on one of those.
Well, mindful eating is a really important thing now. So if you're really craving something, it's better to indulge in a little bit of it than to wait until you just go nuts and eat everything in sight.
What about homemade ice cream? We were talking about homemade ice cream.
Homemade ice cream is delicious. A lot of times, you know, it does have some fat in there and some sugar in there, but it is a delicious way to get in some dairy, which is also good for your bone health. So that's important.
Okay, I had Anna on this. We were talking about Hanson and homemade ice cream. Okay, what else? What else is going on? The stress of saying that, and high stress, and just mainly because of the high blood pressure. Is that where that comes from? The problem with that, of being stressful.
So stress definitely can also increase your blood pressure. So it's important to try to find ways to control that. I think you're talking about the mental health issue, and so I'm a part of a coalition that has been forming in Phillips County, and actually there are some agencies that work outside of just Phillips County, and we've been meeting about once a month to come up with ways that we can help raise awareness of mental health issues in our community, reduce stigma associated with getting help, because sometimes people feel like they can't get help. Somebody might see them or judge them, and they don't feel comfortable getting help, especially in a rural community where everybody, they see your car.
Yeah, I know how that goes. Yeah.
Right. So people are concerned about that, but it's important that if you need help because you're dealing with a mental health issue, that you get it and you have that resource. And so, and suicide prevention is a part of that as well, and getting information out about the new 988 suicide crisis hotline. So if somebody is having a mental health crisis or they are thinking about harming themselves, they can actually call 988 just like they would 911, and they can get help. There are qualified counselors to help talk them through that crisis and get them connected to local resources.
Okay, so have you heard, is that working pretty well, or are people using it around the country? Have you heard?
Yes. There has been quite a response to that. It's basically they changed the previous much longer suicide crisis hotline, and they converted it over to 988 to make it one really easy to remember number. So everybody can use that.
So if someone interested in this, coming to that, they just contact you at the office?
So the Mental Health Coalition will be meeting at the Phillips County Annex there in our building next to the Extension Office and the Health Department on the 21st at noon. And so there are a lot of different health agencies that are part of that. We have representatives from our hospital, our health department, High Plains Mental Health, from the school. We have VA representatives who are there and a part of that for the veterans. So really trying to get
just show up,
people involved. So anybody who
wants
to make a difference on mental health in our area. They named the coalition at our last meeting, so now it's Great Plains Mental Health Coalition. So that we're open to expansion beyond just Phillips County.
That's at the Annex on the 20th?
21st.
21st.
That's Friday.
Annex 21st, what time?
At noon.
Just show up, right?
Just show up.
Okay, all right, great. Anything else? We're about out of time, but
right.
I'm glad we did. Hey, we'll have you on again. You've been real busy. I called.
I like to stay busy, Tad. I like to stay busy and out in the community, meeting people and doing things.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, Tad.
All right. See, we made it through all right.
We made it through.
Okay. And that does it for Tadpoll for this Thursday morning. We'll be back next Thursday morning. We've already working on some guests to come on next week to talk about. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk about the class reunion coming up here at Phillipsburg next month. That's all be coming up. So you have a good weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday morning at 9 o'clock on the Tadpoll.